Lesson: Navigating minimum wage standards and variations. Navigating minimum wage standards and variations is a critical component of wage and hour laws, directly impacting both employers and employees. Understanding these standards requires a multifaceted approach, involving an examination of legal frameworks, economic implications, and practical applications that HR leaders must navigate. The challenge lies in comprehending the diverse regulations across different jurisdictions and applying this knowledge to ensure compliance and fairness in compensation practices. Minimum wage laws are established to ensure a baseline standard of living for workers, protecting them from exploitation and poverty. However, these laws can vary significantly across countries, states, and even cities, creating a complex landscape for HR professionals. For example, in the United States, the federal minimum wage has been set at $7.25 per hour since 2009, yet many states and municipalities have enacted higher minimum wages, reflecting local economic conditions and cost of living. This dual-layered system necessitates a thorough understanding of both federal and local laws to ensure compliance. A practical tool that HR leaders can utilize is a wage compliance checklist. This checklist should include a review of the applicable federal, state, and local minimum wage laws, as well as any industry-specific regulations. By systematically verifying compliance with each level of law, HR professionals can mitigate the risk of legal penalties and ensure equitable pay practices. A case study illustrating the importance of such a checklist is the 2014 lawsuit against a major fast food chain, which resulted in a $2.5 million settlement for underpaying employees in California, a state with higher minimum wage standards than the federal rate. Another crucial aspect is understanding the economic implications of minimum wage variations. While proponents argue that higher minimum wages can reduce poverty and stimulate economic growth by increasing consumer spending, opponents contend that they can lead to job losses and increased prices for goods and services. HR leaders must balance these perspectives when developing compensation strategies, considering both the financial health of their organization and the well-being of their employees. To address these challenges, HR professionals can employ the living wage framework, which goes beyond minimum wage compliance to consider the actual cost of living for employees. This framework involves calculating a living wage based on local housing, food, transportation, healthcare, and other essential expenses. By aligning wages with the cost of living, organizations can enhance employee satisfaction and retention, ultimately benefiting their long-term success. The effectiveness of this approach is exemplified by a case study of a retail company that adopted a living wage policy, resulting in a 20% decrease in employee turnover and a 15% increase in productivity within the first year. HR leaders must also develop a keen understanding of the variations in minimum wage laws internationally. For instance, countries like Australia and the United Kingdom have implemented national minimum wages that are regularly reviewed and adjusted based on economic indicators such as inflation and average earnings. In contrast, countries like India and Brazil have more fragmented systems, with minimum wages varying by region and industry. This global perspective is essential for multinational organizations that must navigate multiple legal systems and cultural contexts. To effectively manage international minimum wage compliance, HR professionals can implement a global wage management system. This system should include a centralized database of minimum wage laws in each operating region, regularly updated by local legal experts. Additionally, the GWMS should incorporate automated alerts for upcoming changes in wage regulations, allowing HR leaders to proactively adjust compensation practices. A case study demonstrating the benefits of a GWMS is a multinational corporation that successfully expanded into 5 new countries within 2 years, maintaining full compliance with local wage laws and avoiding potential legal disputes. Beyond compliance, HR leaders must consider the ethical implications of minimum wage practices. Paying employees a fair wage is not only a legal obligation, but also a reflection of an organization's values and commitment to social responsibility. By fostering a culture of fairness and transparency in compensation, organizations can build trust with their workforce and enhance their reputation in the marketplace. This is particularly important in an era where consumers and investors are increasingly prioritizing ethical business practices. To promote ethical wage practices, HR professionals can implement the transparency and fairness model, which involves openly communicating wage policies to employees and providing clear criteria for wage increases and promotions. This model encourages employee engagement and trust, as demonstrated by a technology company that implemented transparent wage policies, resulting in a 30% increase in employee satisfaction scores and a 25% reduction in wage-related grievances. In conclusion, navigating minimum wage standards and variations is a complex task that requires a comprehensive understanding of legal, economic, and ethical considerations. By employing practical tools such as wage compliance checklists, living wage frameworks, global wage management systems, and transparency and fairness models, HR leaders can effectively manage these challenges and promote equitable compensation practices. These strategies not only ensure legal compliance, but also contribute to the overall success and sustainability of the organization. By prioritizing fair wages, organizations can foster a motivated and committed workforce, ultimately driving long-term success.